Hi there, this is Athril. Welcome to my Let's Play of the Testimony of Trixie Glimmer. This is part of my ongoing project to play as many games that were included in the itch.io bundle for racial justice and equality that I can. I'll include links in the description to where you can donate to the causes that the bundle supported, as well as buy the game itself. The Testimony of Trixie Glimmer was made by Digital Poppy and Bun and Bird Studios. After finding the cursed play, The King in Yellow, Trixie Glimmer, a slacking student at Bluebell University, recounts the terrible events that set her a week behind in her coursework. This story follows on from the events of Parsnip, with a host of new characters and an expanded world, although you can still enjoy it without playing Parsnip. I'll include a link in the description of my Let's Play of Parsnip. That game was trippy. I'm having high hopes for this one. This game is 3 to 5 hours long if you want to play all the content. Okay, so what we have here is going to be interesting. So without further ado, let's start the Testimony of Trixie Glimmer. Wait, almost forgot. I kind of need to mute that. There we go. Alright, let's start. My name is Trixie Glimmer. I'm a first-year student studying regional history and culture studies here at Bluebell University. Events in the past week have led me to falling behind in my coursework. This is my extenuating circumstances statement of case. I hope it is sufficient to explain why I need more time to finish my coursework. Thanks in advance for reading. Thanks. It all started last week. At about 10 in the morning, I dragged myself out of bed and gotten dressed. Right, it's 2 weeks until my coursework deadline. Time to start this report on Blue Hill County Cultural Exports 1800 to 1900. I sat and stared at the brief for about 10 minutes. Okay, no more slacking. It's time to get to work. I noticed I just clicked onto a 2-hour video essay about memes on video.com. Before I had any more time to be distracted, there was a loud knock at my door. I jumped, knocking my cereal over. Milk chocolate-covered sugar flakes spilt across my generic student accommodation carpet. I like this already. Someone outside yelled. Nikita. Okay, this is going to be... I don't know what voice to do for this. Trixie Glimmer, open up! We have something to discuss! I recognized his voice. It was Nikita, my course's top student. We didn't talk often because she's kind of horrible. I slammed the spacebar and quickly opened a website about sheep. It wasn't really relevant to my work, but I hoped it may look educational enough to make Nikita judge me slightly less. Oh boy. Nikita scared the crap out of me, and I didn't want to keep her waiting, so I ignored the puddle of chocolate milk seeping into my carpet and opened the door. Nikita immediately marched straight into my room without asking, and I ended up backed into my desk. Ooh, aggressive. Aggressive deer. Right, Trixie, you have to do me a favor. Her eyes briefly glanced at the cereal puddle, but quickly locked back onto me like lasers of a sniper rifle trained on my skull. Oh, I instinctively sat back down in my chair and looked up at Nikita. I probably looked pretty subby. I would have kind of been hot if I wasn't a fucking loser. Okay then. Ooh, didn't even get to see what that was. Look, Trixie. If I hadn't bailed you out last term by doing your coursework for you, you'd be fucking dead, right? I mean, it'd be living in the bush and eating dirt because you don't want to go home to your family and admit you fucked up your education by sleeping through your entire term. I mean, that's a little harsh. I've also been playing video games, writing raunchy fanfiction, and growing breasts. It would be nice to get some recognition for that for once. I know it was. But listen, my point is you owe me big time for literally saving your life. You didn't literally save my life, what the fuck? Whatever. Look, I just want you to find me a play script. It's easy. Oh, is that all? I mean, I'm sure I could do that. I guess you did help me a lot, right? Sorry, you were being really aggressive, so I assumed you were going to make me kill someone or something. Tabby baby, you hate her. Miss Knight is a try-hard bitch, wasting everyone's time by running against me for student president, but I don't need her dead. I need to keep her around and make me look good. Tabby keeps psycho crystals in her bra to prevent lunar interferences, which I'm pretty sure isn't even a word. That's a pretty low standard for making you look good. I felt pretty bad saying that. Tabby's really nice, even if she was a little quirky and didn't really notice me. That said, interference definitely isn't a word. I'm not very likable, so I need all the help I can get. Anyway, shut up. Your laptop is playing a video called Sheep Falling Over Compilation 6, while your coursework paper is titled, and I quote, Starred Soon. So, are you going to help me, or am I just going to have to never bail you out of one of your fuck-ups again? I glanced at my laptop. EpicSheepFails.com wasn't as educational as I thought. Fine, I'll do what you want. What do you want exactly? More specifically, just the play script. Last night, I was working back from the library when I noticed some paper fluttering about. I don't usually make a point of picking stuff off the floor, but something drew me to it. I picked it up and realized it contained writing. I read it right there in the courtyard. When I finished reading, I stood in silence for some time. I'd read an excerpt from it from The King in Yellow. I don't know how it got here, but I'm certain if that page was here, then the rest of it must be nearby. A surviving copy of the infamous cursed play. Do you realize how important that is? I'd heard a rumor of The King in Yellow, of the ghastly writings within. I very much doubted Nikita had found a page lying around a university. Copies were meant to be impossible to get hold of, supposedly all lost, hidden, or burnt long ago. Wow! I always assumed that play was kind of a myth. Are you sure it was legit? Maybe you just found part of someone's fanfiction. Nikita slammed her fist on my desk with a bang. I know it's real! Sorry. It's okay, you're probably right. I'm only a real loser who read fanfiction about the King in Yellow. The completed play would be of immeasurable importance to my studies. I could write my entire thesis analyzing how it has affected folklore in both locally and worldwide. I need the full copy. Now, after the initial shock of finding it set in, I started sneezing, and I concluded there must be some kind of allergen on the paper. It happened to be allergic to exactly one thing in the world. Not being a bitch? Ooh. Shut the fuck up. I'm allergic to daffodils. Daffodil Lane is a few miles from here. I happen to know that this lane is full of a lot of daffodils, hence the shitty name. Given their relative rarity elsewhere in the county, I believe the page may have originated there. I'd rather avoid going there myself. I am too important to get mildly uncomfortable. Besides, I'm busy brainstorming a slogan for my student union presidency campaign. Right now, I'm thinking knowledge through unity, unity through Nikita. Oh, jeez. Whatever. As a thank you for me saving your life, you're kindly going to go definitely and find the rest of that play for me. Good, thanks. I still wasn't convinced there was going to be anything to find, but I kind of wanted Nikita to leave my room before she noticed I'd left some of my underwear on the floor. I mean, I hadn't agreed yet, but fine, I'll go. I just stopped being so rude to me, and it's not a good working relationship. Fantastic. Thank you for being so accommodating, Trixie. I'll let you get on with. Now I have some books to read. Oof, she's rough. Nikita brushed some dust off her shirt and left without a goodbye. According to my laptop, it was still pretty early. I guess I should get going. I may as well get this over with so Nikita stops bothering me. I found some snacks. I knew I would need them on my quest, errand, whatever this crap was. A 20-pack of cheese ropes. I fucking love artificial flavorings. I found my phone under my little shirt. Not that it came in much use. I can basically only take calls or receive messages after years of wear and tear. My phone light flickers unless you constantly shake it like a maraca, so I brought along a torch as well. Oh, so we're British. A torch seems like one of those things was good to have when you were looking for things. In retrospect, I should have made sure that it had batteries in it before I left. I crammed everything in my bat bag. A lot of people accuse me of having a bat fetish because of all my bat products, but it's not true. I just kind of like the bat cartoon, Cyber Drat Cool Yaz from space, from a few years ago, but there's no official merchandise for it, and all those bats were really cute. Anyway, I got distracted by my laptop for a while. Well, like 3 hours, but I got a lot of work done. Kinda. Yeah, got nothing done. The 2-hour trek through the countryside during the worst heat wave of the century took its toll on me. I'd never been good with summer. I used to just hide inside so I underestimated how hard it would be out in the sun. I was also about here I realized I'd never cleaned up the cereal on my floor. I did eventually reach Daffodil Lane. I took a rest in some shade and got my bearings. Phew. I hope the weather gets worse soon. I could use some rain to cool me off. I took a look down the lane from my vantage point. 4 quaint little cottages dotted the dirt road, and at the far end was a tree line of Blue Hill Woods. I've been in the woods once before as part of my course. They were old and filled with interesting landmarks. I considered taking a walk in them once I sorted out the play stuff. It was probably cooler under the trees. Oh, God. Hi! Ah! A small, rather eccentric-looking rabbit appeared behind me while I was distracted. Before I could say anything, he held out a weird yellow string. Since we're such great friends, I made you a friendship string! The friendship string was about 6 inches of tattered yarn, seemingly dipped in a yellow acrylic paint and sprinkled in what appeared to be sugar. Oh God, it's Parsnip. It was faintly disturbing on a level I can't communicate, even after everything else that transpired in the following days. I added sugar, so you can taste it if you get hungry. I hope you like it, best friend! He seemed proud of himself. Keeping something from Parsnip could be very dangerous. Okay. You know, the funny thing is, if I threw it away, he probably wouldn't mind either, because that's just Parsnip. I'm going to keep it this time. This may be a multi-playthrough thing. Confused, I took the string out of the rabbit's paw and held it up for a closer look. It looked just as bad close. I shivered. Something about the string and the strange creator felt deeply wrong. I shook my head slightly. I was being silly. The string was harmless. I tucked the string away in my bag. Thanks? So hi, I'm Parsnip, and that's my cottage. He jabbed the paw at the nearest cottage, one with a well-kept daffodil patch in front of it. A small sign with "My Cottage" written on it stood in the path next to it, clearly marking the cottage as someone's cottage. Oh, hi, Parsnip. My name is Trixie. I'm looking for a book that may be around here. Have you heard of The King in Yellow? Wow, I love yellow. Oh, wow, it's my favorite color. Oh, God. Okay, well, it's good that you like yellow. The book, though, do you know of it? I don't read books. They're so boring. I'm Parsnip, and I'm fun upon. Want to come play with me? I said no. Tried to distract... I'm going to try to distract him. This was getting too weird. I wanted out. Wow, look at that. I pointed into the distance. Parsnip just stared at me. I'd rather just look at you, new friend. Oh, okay. Well, I can't come play with you right now because I have to find a book for my friend, remember? Wow, that sounds really exciting. You're like a detective. Oh, I mean, a more indebted servitude thing, oh, wow, cool, this is amazing! Before I could begin to formulate a response to Parsnip, the sound of a cuckoo clock blared from inside his cottage. It was loud, even from a good 50 feet away. Uh-oh, it's time for the trumpet practice! I'll talk to you later, new friend! He merrily skipped off to his cottage. Okay, bye? I crossed Parsnip off my list of potential owners for Forbidden Play. He didn't seem like someone who would own anything that required reading. I started to walk down the lane, past the out-of-tune trumpet blasting from Parsnip's cottage. I'm not convinced he even had the trumpet the right way around. I figured I'd try the next cottage. I didn't look as well kept as Parsnip's, but I could see some art easels set up in the garden, which piqued my interest. An arty person may have a copy of an evil play just to make a statement. Oh, God. Hey, cool, an artist. I can relate to them. I drew a picture once. I approached the cottage and caught sight of a rabbit lounging in a deck chair, smoking and drinking wine. Classy. She was tall, stylish, and pretty. I was pretty hyped to meet what I assumed would be a famous artist. Either she didn't see me, or chose to ignore me. I noticed her cigarette wasn't even lit. Hey, hi. I waved nervously. I wasn't used to talking to a professional artist, who are probably rich. Wow, she's... okay, she's definitely in a different mode than in Parsnip. She tilted her sunglasses down slightly to look at me before pushing them back up. Hello? Hey, I trailed off. My head felt light from the heat. I swayed side to side, starting to regret not bringing a drink. Sorry, I don't have any water with me, and I'm a little out of it. Anyway, I just walked down from university, and I'm... Wait, you walked all the way here from the university? Without any water? In this heat? You wonk. I remember letting out a quiet yes, and collapsing, but not much else until I woke up a few minutes later. The rabbit's face was looking down at me from her deck chair. She looked mildly concerned, but apparently not enough to move me from being face down in the dirt. You fainted. Are you okay? I think so. Could I maybe have some water? I brought some out for you already. She motioned toward a glass of wine on the ground beside me. That's wine. The rabbit went out under her glasses. Oh, so it is. How did that get there? She picked up the wine and shuffled shamefully into her cottage, returning a few minutes later with some tap water. Thanks. I downed the water and felt a little better. It was pretty stupid of me not to bring any. I realized I hadn't introduced myself, and I thought better do it before it became too awkward. Hi. Hello. I didn't do a great job of it. I'm Trixie. Le Rose. There was a frosty silence. So I'm sorry to bother you. It's just I'm doing someone a favor. They think there's a copy of some old playbook around here. The King in Yellow. Can't say I've heard of it. Are you sure your friend didn't say Daffodil Library? You know, the one in town? I briefly worried that she had. No, I'm pretty sure she said Daffodil Lane. I don't know where it could be, though. I asked Parsnip next door? LaRose seemed to grimace at the mention of Parsnip. You spoke to Parsnip. Are you sure? You look like you still have the will to live. I didn't, but that was unrelated. I mean, yeah, a bit. Is he that bad? I mean, he seemed a little excitable for sure, but... LaRose's blood pressure looked like it was rising rapidly. Let's not have her have a heart attack. Get back on topic. I decided it was best to change the subject. Anyway, sorry. The book. You haven't seen it? She shook her head. I don't get out much, though. If it's around here, I probably wouldn't see it. I didn't realize my neighbors were missing until the police came knocking. Oh geez, the squirrels. Yeah. Didn't that turn out they just wanted to cruise to Pacific Islands because they're rich and got bored? It was on the news for ages. No. I accidentally started the rumor that they ran off to go on a cruise during the school term. Probably true. They were rich. Rich people do that stuff, right? I don't think she was expecting an answer. Look, I was brainstorming, okay? It's not my fault the police just took that as fact into the investigation immediately. I'm sure they're all fine. The police just dumped all the evidence they collected outside and left. A cam, right? Wait, a cam? What's a cam? I know a cab. All cops are... Oh, there we go. All cops are monsters? A cam. All cops are messy. Point is, you could go poke around the boxes if you want. They won't care. Maybe they'll find your book. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. I asked a little bit more about the area. Is there anywhere else around here an old playbook might be hiding? Yeah, there's the woods. They're pretty big. There's bound to be at least one book in there. She faked a big blow of smoke from her cigarette. Although, I'd avoid them if I were you. They're dark, nasty, and no one lives there anyway. Well, I mean, there's a beehive, but they're a bunch of authoritarian jackasses, so they don't really count. I tried to go paint there once, and they got pissy with me. Swarm of fake socialist mini-dictators. There's not a whole lot on the road, besides a sheep field and some fucked up magpie. No, this place is kind of boring. That's why I moved here, to get some space. It didn't work. Cyberbat Wildstar always used to say, space is where you make it. Right. Does that actually mean anything? Or no, not really. It's from some cartoon. So, Wait, where did you used to live? Before you moved out here, I mean. Town. I teach there. Oh, you're one of the art history lecturers at the uni? Do you teach the Blue Hill art history classes in second year of regional history and culture studies? I do that course. I'm sure I might have seen you around. I teach preschoolers how to use glitter pens. Oops, anger seemed to have burned under her surface. I was worried her wine bottle would shatter in her vice-like grip. They don't appreciate my art. I decided to run away before I said anything else stupid. Well, anyway, sorry to bother you. Oh, go take a look at those evidence boxes. Have fun. She went straight back to staring off in the distance. I let her get on with it and headed over to the neighboring cottage. Laura was right. The police had left their investigation unfinished and just ditched the evidence in a couple of boxes. Fortunately, the summer had been a dry one and everything seemed to be in good condition. I peered through one of the cottage windows. It was definitely deserted. It's probably a pretty nice place when it was looked after. I could see the occasional bit of half-eaten food laying around the floor, making a mess of otherwise cozy middle-class countryside retreat. I started sorting through the boxes labeled Kitchen 1. Most of it seemed to be odd bits of snack packaging and half-eaten food. Gross. Fortunately, most of it was so artificial it wasn't even capable of molding. Interestingly, a DVD copy of Jenny and Jason's Archery Trading Time for the Game Machine 100 also had a large bite taken out of it, and the toaster seemed to have lick marks on the grill. Oh, poor squirrel girl. An entire box of sugar acorns seemed to have been emptied into the box, coating everything with a thin layer of nutritionless dust. Someone had been very hungry. The next box, Kitchen 2, only had a couple of gas canisters inside. I guess they were for a cottage stove. I don't think Definite Lane has much in the way of actual infrastructure. The last box, labeled Kids Room, contained the only real interesting stuff. My eyes went straight to the small game console and a selection of video games. I spotted one of my favorites, Gun Attack 2. Oh hey, this kid is one of those little fuckers who always screamed abuse at me when I tried to play online. Actually, I probably should refer to the possibly missing kid as a little fucker. That feels a little wrong. There were more sweet wrappers. The kid had clearly diversified their diet by eating crisps on special occasions. This kid doesn't seem to be the type to collect old play scripts. I doubt it would be in here. In fact, I don't think there's a single word in this box that isn't a brand name. As I said this, I realized I was wrong. There are some very obvious words in the box, and I don't know how I missed them before. One small paper booklet scrawled in faded felt tip writing read, "There is a monster near the woods." Underneath was a crude scroll, vaguely resembling a crouching figure with a thick woolly body and 4 eyes. Some kind of imaginary monster? Maybe a wool suitor, I thought. Oh shit, that's ominous. The handwriting was childlike and shaky. It could have been more than a month old. It was probably written as part of some silly game, I thought, but that didn't stop it from filling with dread. What was this monster? I realized the message was written on the front of a small scrap of paper booklet. It looked like it had been written and illustrated by the kid. Squirrel Warrior Princess Adventure. Squirrel Warrior Princess was on an adventure to save the Squirrel Princess Dragon. She went through the hills and there was a monster shaped like a woolly person. Squirrel Warrior Princess shot him with a bow and arrow and won. "That is what you get if you are my enemy," said Squirrel Warrior Princess, said Squirrel. She drove her car, big car, fast and reached Castle Grimskull. "I'm here to save you, Squirrel Princess Dragon," said Squirrel Warrior Princess. She went through the castle and used her gun to shoot bad enemies. She went up the castle. "No one can defeat me. I am the strongest warrior," I said. A skeleton popped out, but Squirrel Warrior Princess punched it and it fell down and cried, and I laughed at it. "That was really brave. Thank you for saving me," said Squirrel Princess Dragon as she flapped her wings. She has dragon wings and can breathe fire, but she is a squirrel. They played video games together and won single player on Medallion of Honor in the end. Wow. Inspiring. I decided it was best to leave before much more incriminating DNA on everything. I felt pretty sure I wasn't going to find the play amongst the junk, and I wasn't breaking into what was technically still a crime scene on Nikita's behalf, so I headed down the lane to the last cottage. I strolled past the sheep field. The silly creatures were absently-mindedly chewing on grass, as sheep are apt to do. It looked like a refreshingly simple life. The field was overshadowed by a large tree. It seemed to be a few shiny pieces of jewelry trapped high up in its branches. Maybe it was one of LaRose's art pieces? A ragged nest was perched high up near the top. It looked deserted. This is probably where that fucked up bird LaRose had mentioned lived. The cottage at the end of Daffodil Lane was a bleak building. The windows and doors were all boarded up, its interior dark, and the entire building had an uneasy aura around it. Compared to the scenic surroundings, this place was a septic sore. I remembered the child's creepy message. If there was anywhere near the woods a monster would live, it was here. I was almost relieved to realize I had no way of getting the boarded-up door open. Ho ho! There's no way I can get into this cottage. I am so weak and brittle. I felt a little cowardly, so I went out of my way half while I tug at one of the planks. Fortunately, I've never been strong, and estrogen has further reduced my ability to pull planks off things. Well, that was conclusive. I can't possibly get these off with my weak little arms. I almost used this as an excuse to get out of doing Nikita's busy work, but without her help I knew I'd fail my coursework. I wasn't going to go home a failure. I will forever regret not taking the excuse. I should get a crowbar or something. I think that's how people get planks off things, like in games and stuff. I'll head into town. I'm sure I can find some boring old person shop that sells those tools there. I dusted off my hands and started to hike back into town. Someone forgetting, never learning to ride a bike. The monster of the woods would have to wait. It was a long walk back to town. Still, exercise was probably good for me. I hadn't spent much time in town since moving to Blue Hills. It's too loud and too busy for me. I was looking for a tool shop or something when I noticed a small shop called Heidi's. In the window was a big poster. All crowbars, half price. It was convenient for sure. The shop seemed empty. Hello? Is anyone here? Nothing. There was a door behind the counter, slightly ajar. I guessed it led to an office or something. Maybe the owner isn't here. I looked around the shop. I guess I'll wait for a little while. I looked around the shop. It seemed to sell everything. Magazines, tools, sweets. The price on everything seemed to be almost random. I had no idea how Heidi was running the shop this way. I took a look at the vending machine in the corner. It didn't have a window, so I had no idea what was in stock. I gave it a tap. Squawk! Ah! Before I could think too hard about what happened, I noticed a cute Cyber Draculias from Space plushie. The only bit of fish merchandise ever produced for the show. They'd been taken off the market because they contained lead, but it looked like Heidi hadn't gotten the memo. Hey, don't break that! I dropped the plushie back onto its shelf. A hyena stepped out the door of the back room. Either her spots were dyed red or she was spattered in blood. I assumed this must be Heidi. Sorry, aren't those, like, toxic, though? Jeez, who are you, the PC police? She smirked. I think she was trying to make a joke. Also, I think your vending machine yelled at me. Yep, it does that. Anyway. Welcome to Heidi's. How can I help you today? That only looked and sounded extremely forced. I saw the post for crowbars. Could I get one? It was an exceptionally fake laugh. I was a little worried of being mocked. Sorry, kid. I saw that a few hours ago. Unlucky. I overstocked. Typed an extra 3 zeros at the supplier's site. Ended up with 2,000 of the things. Had to start selling them off dirt cheap. But the suppliers brought them all back. Guess they wanted to resell them. Still, I made a good profit on it. Those suckers. She paused for a moment. Doubt flashed across her face. She started counting on her fingers. Her grin quickly turned into a frown. She recounted, and then recounted again. Those fuckers! I made a 4,000-pound loss! Mr. Crowbar's fucking dead! She seemed to remember I was there. Anyway, you wanted a crowbar, right? For what? You don't look like a DIY type. No offense. It was a little offensive. Although admittedly very true. I need to break open a door. I realized that probably sounded very suspicious, so I tried to defuse the situation. I'm not a burglar, it's my door. A strange mix of resignation and confusion appeared on her face. You accidentally boarded up your own door. I admitted I was... Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm breaking into a house. But it's abandoned. It's urban exploration. Albeit, in this case, only very rural. Oh, sweet! I didn't give a fuck about that. I just don't want to end up complicit in your breaking into someone's house and kicking them to death. I was relieved she was going to let me have a crowbar, but also slightly offended that I apparently looked like a very inefficient murderer. Heidi dashed through the door behind the counter and quickly reappeared with a crowbar. This is one of my personal crowbars. I need my others, so if you somehow break it, don't come begging for a replacement. I don't offer warranties. That's 15 pounds. Rooted through my pockets and realized I'd forgotten my wallet. All I had was 3 pounds in coins and a Demon trading card, which was a little odd since I don't even collect those. I kind of forgot my money. You forgot you needed money to pay for things at shops? Yeah, I guess. Do you accept trading cards? She didn't look amused. She drummed her fingers on the counter for a moment. Okay, whatever. What if you owe me a favor? I hope this wasn't going to be a weird sex thing. It's not a weird sex thing. Don't make face. Don't make that face, pervert. I suddenly resented my naturally pervy face. I wasn't thinking that. What did you want? Nothing crazy. Just help you sort some extra stock. Usually I have to do it myself, but 2 hands are better than 1, right? Of course, you'll have to sign an NDA. Or not. Well, what do I care? Have a taser. It doesn't sound very exciting, but I needed the crowbar and I didn't have much choice. Okay, so as long as it's something small and legal. Another unconvincing laugh. I think it was supposed to sound friendly. Yeah, it's fine. It's small and legal. Did you try a fake, reassuring laugh? Fuck off! It was real. Give me your number so I can get a hold of you. Gave her my number, hoping I was about to end up crossing any borders with 5 kilos of counterfeit electronics in my clothes, because I knew that it'd be too awkward to say no to that. Great, I'll give you a call when I need you. I prefer it to texting. Easier to shout. And don't try to get away for free. I have a taser. She put her hand out for a handshake. I guess she wanted to seal the deal. I limply shook it with my puny little arm. Sure, thanks for the crowbar. I guess I'll see you soon. I left the shop armed with a crowbar, reflecting on how it seemed to operate entirely on favor-based system these days. Oh well, I thought it was cheap. I was pretty hungry, and as I walked through town, my eyes were drawn to a small shop called Greg's Bakery. The shop had a charmingly decorated exterior, albeit a little cutesy for my taste. I gazed at the food on display in the window, and I'm pretty sure I drooled on myself. It looked really good. I really needed some sugar. Hi! Welcome to Greg's Bakery! I'm Greg! This is my bakery! Greg had sharp fangs like a bat, which is nice, though obviously it isn't important. Oh hey, I'm here to eat cakes. Do you sell cakes? I don't know why I asked that. I knew they sold cakes. I'd been to look over the display. Oh, sure we do. I make them fresh every day. Do any catch your eye? If you decide you don't want a cake, I have plenty of other pastries and treats for you. An ice bun, a pizza slice, a donut, vegetable rolls, bag of sprinkles? Bag of sprinkles, okay. The choice is yours. They seem nice, albeit slightly hyperactive. I kind of suck at buying food, especially when there's so much choice. I was glad to hear the door open loudly behind me to distract Greg. Hiya, Belle! The usual? You betcha, hun. How's work going? Great, thanks. It's been a quiet day so far, but now I have 2 customers at once. Exciting, huh? What was it you wanted me to get you? They were looking at me, and I still hadn't decided what I wanted. I've been cut from another milk delivery rep, Greg. Can you believe it? What? No way! Another one? How come? The distraction gave me a chance to pick something. My eyes scanned across the cakes, desperately trying to choose one. My old manager left a few weeks back. The new one is, semi-competent. He noticed I was taking me a day to do the morning run, and that they were paying me to deliver into empty buildings. I was like, no way! My contract says I have to. But he read my contract, and it doesn't. The contract excuse had worked flawlessly for like 4 years, so I had no backup plan. So yep, I'm just delivering to North Acres since they refused to let us deliver via drone, like we do everywhere else now. I'm almost obsolete. Good jobs these NIMBYs are keep me in a job for a little longer. Oh no, North Acres? I heard bad things about that place. They aren't too keen on outsiders. What a sucky situation. Oh heck, have your food on me. They placed Belle's order on the counter and canceled their payment. 2 large coffees, 4 vegetable sausage rolls. Pretty impressive lunch. Aw, you're too kind, hun. I'll make it up to you. North Acres ain't so bad. I just ignore locals and don't hang around. I think she must have noticed me staring at the cakes, just slack-jawed. Oops, sorry for pushing in, hun. I'm not used to there being other people here. It's pretty quiet most days. Oh no! I'm sorry I got distracted. What was it you wanted? I remembered turning to look at them wide-eyed in fear. Let's see, cake or donut? Or you know what? I'll use this as a suspense point. We'll stop here for this episode and pick right back up. Save. Alright. Hope everyone's enjoying this rather odd little game. We'll see what we have. See you next time.